one of the most important impulses behind it was the sense that they had, which I think was quite valid, that in many European societies, Jews will not be accepted as equal citizens. I don't think they predicted that it would go as far as genociding the Jews as happened in the Second World War, but they were they showed despair given the fact that Jews were trying to assimilate, were trying to be part of the non-Jewish society, and there was a sense that actually the rise of nationalism in the mid-19th century, especially in Central and Eastern Europe, but also in places such as Germany and Italy, did not allow the Jews to be fully integrated to the societies. So that was one impulse, the impulse that it was a solution to an acute problem of racism towards Jews.
What was the Christian idea?
The Christian idea had much more to do with a divine scheme that people believed in which a return, as they would call it, the return of the Jews to the Holy Land, namely Palestine, would precipitate the second coming of the Messiah and cause the resurrection of the dead, the beginning of the end of time. So, in fact, it would have been an indication that a certain divine scheme began with the return of the Jews, which was almost a precondition for the fulfillment of other ideas in this particular Christian dogma, namely, as I said before, the return of the Messiah, the resurrection of the dead, and the beginning of the end of time.
So the Christian Zionist idea, which lives very actively in the United States till today, was not a response to anti-Semitism, for example, quite independent of that.
Totally independent. In fact, I would venture and say it was anti-Semitic in many ways, because the idea was, on the one hand, that we need the Jews to be in Palestine in order to trigger the end of time. But we have to add to this that part of the divine scheme is that this all could not be completed unless the Jews eventually convert to Christianity, or they would be barbecued in hell.